Hey, gang, welcome to Tiger Dork Ramblings or Tiger Funk Productions, wherever you're watching this on. But I'm sitting here with DMT Victor. I am Tiger Mike.
DMTV.
DMTV are gonna go and watch DMTV.
DMTV.
Could also be broadcast on the DMTV channels also. So, hey, gang, how we doing today? We wanted to go over briefly the Star Fox news that is going on right now. It is the 7th of May in the evening, and I just showed Victor the Nintendo Direct for the new Star Fox game. If you haven't seen it, maybe pause this, go watch that, and then come back. But honestly, it doesn't
Is
really
it called
matter.
Star Fox Direct? Did they announce a name for it or?
Well, it's a Nintendo Direct, and they were talking about Star. I think it's just Star
What
Fox.
what does Nintendo Direct mean anyway? Is that
So a
just
Nintendo Direct is just their way of kind of releasing news, right? So
so? Oh,
back
it's
in the
it's a fancy
day,
name for their blog.
kind of, but back in the day, we had all of these conventions, these tech conventions where like in the gaming ones, they would announce all their big, what's going on
Oh,
and
like E3
like
stuff like that.
E3 and
Okay,
that kind of
yeah.
stuff. But since those have fallen the wayside and all of these companies are doing their own, Nintendo
Mhm.
Direct can just be whenever they decide it to be, which in this case was like the middle of the night on the 6th of May, I think. And they didn't announce that they were going to release this or anything. They just released it, I believe. I think there was like some 10-minute warning or something like that. To like press and bloggers and stuff that get those. I'm not one of them. Um, but it was just kind of all of a sudden out of the blue, unless you consider the fact that the leak that came out a few months ago included a Star Fox game's coming out and an Ocarina of Time game is coming out. And so
Mm.
the having one already on its way out is pretty spectacular and hopefully confirming the second. Um and it's funnily enough, coming out the Star Fox game is coming out the day before my birthday, so happy birthday,
Hey, all
Tiger
right.
Mike. So let's just briefly get into what essentially this game is, which is a remake of Star Fox 64, which was a remake of the original Star Fox game. And I'm kind of just like, I'm so torn. I'm a little bit, all right, cool, and a little
Mhm.
bit like, that's it, because I think we need an original Star Fox remake, and I think it's great that they're releasing it, and it's going to be a little cheaper than most of the new Switch games. It's I think 50 for the digital and 60 for the physical game. Um, which a lot of new Switch games are 70 or 80 respectively.
Yeah. It says,
Um,
yeah, I'm looking at the news here. I think they're just gonna call it Star Fox.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just called Star Fox.
Oh my god. I hate it when they do that. Like,
Well,
continue.
it is the same original story, right? So calling it
Sure.
Star Fox because it's a remake is fine. We're
It
gonna
just
call
drives
it
me
Star
crazy because it
Fox
makes it more
Switch, that would
difficult to
suck.
look up information about said things because it's
Well,
like
that's
because
happened
they
in the
did the same
movie.
thing with Star Wars Battlefront, and if I want to find stuff about the
That
original game, and then they came up with Star Wars Battlefront 2, and I'm like, Battlefront 2 just announced. I was like, am I in a time loop here? Battlefront
okay,
2's
but
been
here's
out.
the difference. That happened within a 10-year period. And that was very annoying. You are
Yeah.
absolutely right. This is a Super Nintendo game
Yeah.
remake. So just like movies have done, you're just gonna have to add the year that
Uh,
it was made, you know.
mhm.
So that's just it's unfortunate, but it is the nature of the beast.
Yeah. Anyway, continue.
um,
Continue. Mhm.
but yeah, so there are going to be obviously some additions to the game. They have some side objectives that you can complete in different missions. Obviously, the original Star Fox and Star Fox 64 had a lot of replay value, and I think this is definitely going to continue that trend because your path through the solar system will change as the campaign goes on depending on what actions and how well you perform in the previous mission.
Mhm.
Um and they have some cool new multiplayer options and a co-op option. I did like the co-op feature that you
Yeah.
can use either side of the Joy-Con for individual players. One pilots the ship and the other uses it as a mouse to do the gunning position and to fire
That
the
is fucking
weapon.
cool. I love shit like that. I wish more games would have options like that.
I wish you
That's
didn't
pretty
need to
cool.
use the mouse for it, and maybe there will be an option to just
Yeah.
use the controller aiming with the joystick regular. That's my hope, but either way, it's still pretty nifty.
Mhm.
In battle mode multiplayer, and it looks like you'll be able to play it in multiplayer mode with the game share for Switch users and Switch Lite users. At least that's the implication that it's showing when it's like it's showing the multiplayer with the different. It has a
Mhm.
Switch 2 on the top, and then
Yeah.
I think it has an OLED or an original Switch, and then the Switch Lite, all playing multiplayer with each other. So, we'll see exactly what that means maybe when more details come out. But one of the things that kind of disappointed me was the lack of. I mean, that it's just that it's just the original game over again,
Mhm.
and if anybody knows the Star Fox 2 game that came out for the Super Nintendo system, it was a lot more like this is happening in real time. So these missiles have been launched to the Corneria planet or whatever. And so
Huh.
different squadrons of fighters are out in the system, and there's a couple of capital ships that you can go and take out, and you can fly straight to the capital ships,
So it's
but
not
there's
like
missiles.
so it's not on rails like the original Star Fox was. You can actually like have fly around the entire.
Well, so there's two like game modes. One is the solar system view, in which you have a
Uh-huh.
very small icon that you're kind of pushing around, kind of like thinking about like asteroid style graphics, right? And then you have the mission that you go on when you get to whatever. So you can get to a missile and destroy it. You can get to a squadron of fighters and take them out. Um, but you can also just go straight to a capital ship and take that out, but you risk doing damage by not protecting the planet. And once the planet gets so much damage, you lose your game.
Oh.
So it's also a story follow-up to the original in that,
Uh-huh.
oh, Andros didn't die and somehow he's back again. So you
Somehow he
need
returned.
to right, somehow Andros returned. So you need to go through and basically just take him out again, but it is a story successor, which I thought was pretty cool. And
Uh-huh.
I was kind of hoping to see that here. Like, okay, we have the original, and then we added this extra campaign, right? A secondary campaign, or maybe that'll be DLC. Either way, it's like just the original Star Fox campaign is a little lackluster in terms of what they're delivering. I love the graphics.
Mhm.
It looks really good. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to play. I'm definitely going to buy it. Or honestly, I think I'm going to get it for my birthday is what's going to happen. Um but it just kind of seemed to me like there's so much more that they could do, and then I'm hoping that this leads to more games from the Star Fox IP, right?
So your birthday is June 24th. Oh, it's June 26th.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so okay, because it says Star Fox
Save the
release
date,
date.
gang.
All right, all
Don't
right.
do anything creepy.
I'll mail you a poop in a bag or something. So, oh wow, that's only May, June. Damn, it's a little over a month away. My God,
Yeah,
we're
and I'm
almost
turning
halfway through.
40. I'm not thrilled about
Ah,
it.
you get to know my pain. Literally, you're gonna be like, "Oh, my back." That's what your body does to you on your 40th birthday. It gives you a birthday present. Is back
Yeah,
pain.
no, I've already had my back. The potential for that comes when you're 30. So,
Kids these days, 40-year-old kids these days don't know what it's like. So yeah.
so,
Anyway.
I think that if they don't make more games, they are really fucking up because
Yeah.
the GameCube Star Fox game where it was basically a different game and then they just essentially slapped Star Fox's IP and branding and
Mhm.
characters in it. was an awful choice, and I think it should the original game, it was supposed to be some like Dinosaur Planet game or something like that. What it sounded actually really cool for a role playing game. I don't want them to do that way at all, but I do think some sort of open world exploring concept game where you can fly around in the Star Fox, base ship, mothership, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it, and then take out your R-wing, go check out a planet, land the tank, go in as a go into the
Was
water
that
as a
what the
submarine.
GameCube game was? It was something like that. What was the most
There
recent
there
Star
was
Fox game?
something like that, but
I just remember
I
seeing a
think they
video
should.
about there was a level in one of the Star Fox games that was just a straight up rip off of Independence Day, and
Oh yeah,
it was still cool as shit. You had like dozens of fighters flying around this huge fucking
yeah, yeah.
saucer
That's in
thing,
the
and you had to take it
original
out.
and in the 64 version, I believe.
That wasn't in the original. You're not talking about the Super Nintendo one.
It might have been, but the mothership
No.
that's twirling around with the hangar bay that the ships are coming out of.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking about this, but that came out before Independence Day. I'm talking about
Oh, that's true.
there was a Star Fox game, might have been GameCube, might have been Wii, I don't remember. I just remember seeing a video on YouTube about how it was just exactly Independence Day. You had to yeah, but
They
that's
didn't
cool. That's cool.
really.
Do that. I mean, that's the great thing about video games. Is you can rip off movies. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah, that is one of the things. That Nintendo has not really properly done anything with the Star Fox IP other than rehashing the original game. That's all they know how to do at this point. So I think
Mhm.
adding a DLC that adds a second campaign that's like a Star Fox 2 kind of play with all the new graphics would be cool. Then making another game that is, hey, the Star Fox team went to another solar system where they got strange distress signals, and they're
Mhm.
checking out if they can find any good resources while helping out. Who knows? Like that, always got to be an economic motive, right?
Mhm.
Which leads them into a new story, which doesn't involve Andros as the villain, right? And then you got to explore and discover all these things and put the pieces together to find, and then go through fighting missions and all the regular things that you would expect from a Star Fox game. But um, I don't know. And it doesn't even need to have an on foot mode. I don't really care about that.
Yeah.
Just
Oh
have it
yeah,
be
that was
interesting
weird.
and new. But
Yeah.
anyway, what do you think, Victor? You said you were never really a huge Star Fox
So
fan.
okay, it's a really petty grief that I have with Star Fox. Like I loved the very first Super Nintendo game. It's the music. I hate the direction that the team went with the music. Like the very first game, it had a real Top Gun like danger zone feel to it, which was badass. And then for some reason, with all the sequels, they decided to take it with a vibe with like the military marching band music, which I mean it's okay, but I don't know if there's I will love it the game if there's a way. Most games do this is if there's a way to turn the music off and put my own playlist on there.
Yeah.
That's my one complaint. I know it's petty, but yeah,
Hey, I mean,
yeah.
if the music doesn't vibe for you, that can definitely like Halo 1, 2, and 3,
Mhm.
and especially like Halo 2 and 3 without the Mjolnir like different mix where they got the guitar in there and all that.
Yeah.
And then even just the final theme of Halo in the original and all of them
Mhm.
at the end of the game when you're I'm gonna get this warthog. Yeah! Um, like music makes a huge difference in a game. So if
I
it doesn't
yeah.
vibe for you, then it doesn't vibe for you. I will say, I feel like with the Nintendo 64 remake, they leaned a lot heavier into the Star Wars kind of vibe.
Yes, I
And
think
so
that yeah.
with that came this more
Mhm.
John Williams, like Timu
That's
John
exactly what it
Williams-esque,
is.
kind of score, which, they wanted to have that Empire Strikes Back, the Imperial March kind of thing, like vibe.
Mm.
I always kind of enjoyed the music, but I have played the original, but the 64 version was, kind of the one that introduced me to the series, and I thought was really cool. I don't think
Mhm.
I ever played it on the Super Nintendo until after that. So, and then I was like, this is just Star Fox 64 without better graphics. So what's the point of playing this? I did
Yeah.
play through it, but it was like, I think once, I didn't do the replay of going through the different systems and finding all the special routes and shit.
Yeah, I do love that. I love that you can make it like a choose your own campaign kind of thing. I like that
Yeah,
aspect of
and
Star
you gotta
Fox.
know how to do that, and sometimes it takes you a few tries to do it the right way, but I think that makes the game a little bit more fun. Anyway, gang, so that's where we land on Star Fox. Let us know what you think. You can always hit us up on the YouTube and the Facebooks, Tiger Funk Productions or Tiger Dork Ramblings, and then we got DMT Victor, Dominion Media Television. So hit us up, gang,
Yeah.
and we will see you next time.